Hey guys, welcome back to the second episode of creating a Discord bot with Python using Hikari. In the first episode, we learned how to create a Discord bot on the Discord's developer portal and then we finished setting it up. In today's episode, we'll be learning what are message events. We'll be learning the types of message events and their properties. So let's dive right into it. So I've already written down what the two types of messages are. So let's not waste any time. So let's see. There are two types of messages: the guild messages and DM messages. So guild is basically the same as server. So everywhere where we'll be referencing to a server, we'll be writing guild. And for DM messages, we'll be just writing messages. All right. So guild messages have an event that is guild message create event, and DM messages have an event that is message create event. There are more events related to guild and DM messages like guild message update event, guild message delete event, but today we'll be focusing on guild message create event and message create event. These events are applicable when a new message is sent to either a server or to the bot in DMs. So let's quickly see how we can implement these events. So to implement events, we first have to write a decorator that is at the rate bot dot listen, and then in parentheses we'll write hikari dot guild message create event. All right, and then in the next line we'll write async def and then our function name. So let's say handle message and parentheses. In parentheses we have to mention event and then followed by colon. Now we have created a function that executes when the particular event, which is a guild message creation event, happens. So let's write that function. But before writing that function, let's first understand the different types of properties. So the first and foremost property, it is event dot author. Actually, let's write author equals event dot author. So this basically gives us the username and the discrimination mark, the discrimination tag of a particular message's author. The next one is author underscore ID, which would be event dot author underscore ID. So as the name suggests, this is not right. Yep. Now this is perfect. So as the name suggests, an author ID basically gives back the ID of the particular author. So now the ID is not name hashtag 4 digits. An ID is a numeric value that is unique and permanent for a particular user on Discord. So if I have a username Kushagra hash 0000, I can change that anytime. It would not be a feasible option to keep track of me as a user just using my author name. So instead, Discord has an author ID, which is a numeric value, which I cannot change ever. So that is returned to us by author underscore ID. The next one is content. Sorry, that's right, content. So to get that, we need to write event dot content. So what is content basically? Basically, content is the the text part of a message. So if I write a message that is hello, so the content, the particular property content will fetch me the string that says hello. Now on to the next property, that is embed. So to create this property, we need to write event dot embeds. That's right. So what are embeds? Embeds are a type of message. We'll be working with embeds in a later episode, but to get the embed of a particular message, you need to use event.embeds. Now, event.content will only give you the text message, and event.embeds will only give you the embed of the particular message. The next property is message. So how do we fetch that? We write event.message, and the next is message ID, which we fetch by event.message ID. Now let's understand what a message is. So basically the content is the text part of the message, but a message is a much bigger thing. A message contains the author, the content, the embed, the author ID, the channel in which the particular message was sent, the channel ID. If the message was sent in a server, then uh, it also covers the guild and the guild ID. So that's a lot of data, and we do not require that. So we use event.content, but we can use event.message to retrieve all of that data, which we'll get in the form of a dictionary and message underscore ID. So what is a message ID? Just like author ID, there's a unique numeric ID of each message, so that that particular message could be located, because a message is associated with the user, and the user could change its username. So we use a message ID to find a particular message. The next one on our list is a channel. So what is the property? That is event dot channel, and this will particularly give us back in which particular channel a message was sent. Suppose a message was sent in the general channel, so this particular property will fetch us general. Next one we have is channel underscore ID. So property for this is event dot channel ID needs to be small. That's right. So just like a message or an author, a channel has a fixed numeric value that remains same even if the channel's name is changed. So to track a channel, we require its channel ID. Next on the list is guild. So event dot guild, that's this. Nope, not capital, that will be small. So a bot can be on multiple server, n number of servers. So how do we track which message was sent on which server, and how does the bot know where to respond for a particular message if the bot is on 1,000 servers? So the particular property event.guild returns us the name of the server. But again, a name can be changed. So we need guild underscore ID, for which the property is, as you guessed, event guild underscore ID. So guild ID is again a numeric value that is permanent and unique for each server. Next on our list, we have bot, which is a boolean actually. And to use that property, we use event dot is underscore bot. And we also have human, which is event dot is underscore human. And the last one, webhook, event dot is underscore webhook. So what is bot, human, and webhook? So if a message is sent by a bot, In that event, in that case, is underscore bot will return us a value that is true. And if a message is sent by a human user like you or me, then we'll receive is underscore human as true. And if the message is sent by a particular webhook, then is underscore webhook will send a true value. So that is all for the properties of a guild message create event. So now let's see the properties for a message create event. Let's quickly write our decorator, that is bot.listen, and the event would go right here, Hikari dot message create event, and then we'll write our function async def. Let's name this handle underscore dm underscore message, and in parentheses let's give event and colon. So almost all of these properties are same for a message create event. So I'll just copy paste them. That's that, and paste. So let's see. A DM message has an author, so event.author is valid for a message create event. If it has an author, it will obviously have an author ID. And since there is a message, content will be there. And since a message would be sent, it could be sent as an embed. So event.embeds is also applicable. Similarly, since there's a message, event.message is a no-brainer. And for a message, there would be a message ID. Since there is no channel involved, event.channel is not applicable for a DM message event. So we'll quickly wipe that out. And since there's no channel, there can't be a channel ID. Since this message is a DM message personally sent from a user to the bot, there's no involvement of a server. So guild event.guild is also not a valid property. We'll remove that. And since there's no guild, there can't be a guild ID. So we'll remove that as well. But this particular DM message could be sent by another bot. So event.isBot is a valid event. The message can be sent by a human, which is the most likely event. So is underscore human is also a valid property. And this particular message can also be a webhook. So is underscore webhook is also a valid property. Great. So now we know all the properties that there are for both of these events. So now let us create an event. So now let us create a function that happens when this particular event is triggered. So let's create a function that prints the message and the author that has been of a particular event. So I'll write print, let's say author, comma, space thread. Alright, so what this particular statement will do is it will tell us who the author is and what the author said. So let's save this. Let's also create, but actually, let's add one more thing over here. Let's add on, let's add where the author particularly said this. On channel, C is small here. So we'll write that. Then let's take a space and write the guild. So we'll know which server, on which particular channel, on which server the particular message was sent. And for a DM message, let's also create an event for this. Let's write print author author said content in DM. I forgot some commas over here, so I'll quickly add those, and here and done. So let's quickly save this and I'll run and let's see there are no errors. Alright, cool. So there are no errors in the code. Let's quickly put it to test. I'll open up Discord and let's write hello. So now we should get an output in our console. So let's open that. Okay, there is a problem. Let's see, what did I do wrong? There's no attribute channel. We committed a mistake. That's right. We did. Let's close this up and let's see what is wrong. All right. So message create event is a broad event that covers both guild message create event and DM message create event. So the correct one would be DM message create event, and there is no channel name that is retracted, and neither is a guild name. So we'll write channel underscore ID and guild underscore ID. All right, we'll do that. I'll also update it here. It is, and for messages, it is Hikari dot message create event. Right, I think that covers everything. There should not be a error anymore. Let's delete these empty lines and let's run this again. Cool. So I'll quickly open up Discord again and I'll write I'll write another message this time. I'll write hello code. So now this time let's see what happens. I hope channel ID is not defined. Okay, so we did define channel ID with I and D capital. So this would not work. And similarly for guild, the small mistake. This happens. Let's run that again and we'll go and write the message once more. And this time I'll write what's going on code. So finally, we are getting an output. So as you can see, for author, we are receiving my username and my destination tag with the string said, what's going on code, that is our message. And now this is the numeric key that I was talking about. This is our channel ID and this numeric value is our guild ID. So let us try the same in the DMs. Let's see what will happen then. So I'll quickly go to core and I'll write a core. So a message has been sent. Let's see what happens in our VS Code. So I can see Insoluble said, "Hey core in DM." So we have created an event-based function right here, in which our bot picks up a queue whenever a new message is sent, either in the DMs or on the server. So now let's create another event which is universal for all messages. So we'll write @bot dot listen Hikari dot message create event, and we'll write async def handle underscore all messages, and in parentheses we'll give event and a colon, obviously, and then let's write the statement print a string, obviously, a new message has been sent. Now since Python runs code block by block, let's put this above our other pieces of code. So this code particularly executes before our other code. So I'll place it right here. And now let's run this again. Now let's send a message. I'll go to the testing server and I'll write hi. So let's see what happens. So we receive a new message has been sent, and we receive a message that Insoluble said hi on this particular channel ID in this particular guild. So as you can see, the message, it did not specify where the message was sent. Wait, I'll also send a message in DM. Okay, great. So when I sent a message on a server, this particular piece of code that ran on event that was guild message create event, which is Insoluble said hi on this particular channel and this particular server, but also the function that was supposed to run on the event when a message is created, a new message has been sent. And when I sent a message in the DMs, I received an output that Insoluble said hello in DM, but also a new message has been sent because message was created. So as you can see and understand, message create event works for all messages, whether that is in DM or on a server. But guild message create event works only when a message is sent on a server, and a DM message create event works only when a message is sent on a DM. So that's all for today's video, guys. I hope you learned something new, and whatever doubts that you have, please feel free to comment them down below. I'll leave the link to Hikari's documentation, particularly to the tab where it's talking about message events, so you can read up more about these. And I'll leave a link to Hikari's support server so you can ask for any doubts there to the community itself. That's all for today. Thanks for joining in.